Hello, Vanakkam. Thanks for watching Cyberpetigam again. As I promised earlier, in this episode, we are still in the series of Ponggal, how to make resolution. We have seen what is Ponggal, we have seen who celebrates Ponggal and what to celebrate, and now how to make resolutions every year and what to make resolution. So I said about 4 categories, and I said like you have to choose which category you belong to. So we're gonna start with that. We have 4 categories which has been clearly stated. I wouldn't say it's a category, it's phase of life. 4 phases of life said in a Tamil culture. So the first phase is called Kallaram. It's a phase where Aram means it's a law which we should follow, have you followed it? Are you coping up with the guidelines the culture has given? It's sort of that. So in the first category it's called Kallaram, the second category is called Illaram, the third category is called Nallaram, and the fourth category is called Sellaram. So in this Kallaram phase, people from kids up to adolescents people and up to if you're still a bachelor, all of these 3 people are going to be in Kallaram, the phase of Kallaram. So if you are a parent and you have a kid who is going to kindergarten, or like if you have kids, then the kids are in Kallaram, and you as a parent have a lot of responsibility to make sure that your kid is actually going through or like keeping up, they are gradually improving in their Kallaram phase accordingly as what our culture is saying. So every year in a new year, when you make your resolution, you have to do a checklist. Before that, what scripture? I keep on saying about scripture. I'm going to check on you if you're really into my videos. So if you want to know in which scripture whatever I'm saying, this Kallaram Nallaram is stated, comment below. I'm going to leave a comment. I'll answer your question if you're really keen to know in which scripture it has been like said about Kallaram, Nallaram, Illaram and everything, right? So I'm going to leave a comment below. I'm not going to say in this video because that's going to take more time, and I'm trying to keep this video as short as 10 minutes. So I'm going to rush, okay? So the first thing, Kallaram. In Kallaram, every person in this Kallaram has 2 very important responsibilities where we have to like examine, check ourselves, tick your checklist every year if you are doing well as accordingly. Alright, so the first thing is education, the second thing is finding a proper way to earn enough income to sustain your life. So that's talking about economy. So you have 2 big responsibilities. As long as you're small kids up to school level, university level, you have not started working yet, so you have to stick with your education and accomplishment in your education. And the second thing, if you already start working or you're after your studies, you must find a job before you're getting married. Alright, so before you get married, as long as you're a kid, you have to examine that. So in the students phase, a lot of us know like in schools, we see teenagers, as long as you are in primary school, definitely your parents will just like stuff you like just make sure that you must study, get the first rank, and you'll do everything. They'll put as much tuition as possibly could, and the teachers in Tamil school and everything, they'll just like twist your neck, make sure you study, and they'll just put pressure on you. Get 6 A's, 7 A's, 5 A's, and just get lost to the secondary school. When it comes into secondary school, things change. We enter teenage lifestyle where we have a lot of freedom to choose what you want to do. You can choose whether you want to do homework, you are not doing homework, everything like that you can choose. So as a teenager, every year in Ponggal, we should not just celebrate Ponggal, eating the nice Ponggal and just scream Pongalo Pongal, Pongalo Pongal, Pongalo Pongal, and just tell people that Vali Pirandiruchi, Vali will not pirakran until we understand we have to discover the path. Vali Pirathal is like, I'm referring to Thai Pirandal Vali Pirakum, right? That quote which says like as the new year comes, new path will open up for your brighter future. Brighter future, and this new path, it's not gonna come there like a magic. We have to go get it, right? So as a student, every year we have to think back. So let me tell you some example of a classic school scenario. My parents are teachers, so I've heard a lot, and definitely you and me, we have gone through our secondary schools. So as a secondary school person, like you're just reaching teenage lifestyle, you have a lot of freedom. No teachers is gonna ask for your workbook or your homework or anything like that. So it's party time, and we have young girls coming in. Some of us never, like, that's the time where we feel like, oh my god, there's a lot of butterflies in me, and you want to look at girls and flirt and a lot of things. Wonderful things will happen during your teenage years, but we have to think back. Are we doing the right responsibility? Are we carrying out a responsibility? Are we like gaining knowledge as much as we need to get a good job, right? We have to think back. So if you're a kid who likes to roam around the school, I've done it, you have done it, trust me, it's nothing wrong. When the teacher goes out, until the next teacher comes in, you just take the pas keluar, we call it in Malaysia, and you just go around looking at some Maliga, and you say, Maliga, please study, unga appa pera kedkada, and everything, and then we just go around and partying and stuff like that. If you are like that, this year you have to tap yourself and ask, how long are you gonna do this, dude? Like, you have to wake up. Somehow this year is going to be a better year. Try to focus a little bit on studies, because there's a bright future waiting for us, right? And if you're a gamer, we play game, Dota, FIFA every night. Yeah, it's fun, and trust me, our mind works faster than anything when you play video games. And if you're a person who likes to, like, read novels and Twilight and its storyline and mesmerizing you, it's really boring to take Sajara book out. What to do, part and parcel. Twilight doesn't give you a job, so like we have to wake up and think about it. So that's for students, good students, bad students. Examine yourself, judge your accomplishment when it comes to studies. As a parent, what you can do is, there's a lot of situation in this middle school, usually the secondary school. That's when, like, you have so much of disciplinary problems and everything like that. If you're a mom at home, we call, Indian mom says kudumba vilakku, thai kulam, and everything like that. Yeah, if you are one of them, don't just be at home, washing your kids' clothes and like giving them best tuition, and don't bother about them. As the parent, we should definitely find out if your son or daughter is doing good in school, because their accomplishment, and as a parent, it is our key responsibility to give them a very good education, so that they can get better future in their future, like they can get better job and everything like that. And being in country which is not India or any part of the world, as the as globalization is conquering the world, and the talent and knowledge is so high in competition, and it's not easy to get a job or a bright future, right? So the parents have to be very determined to examine or to keep close eye on your children if they're doing good in education. So that comes under student. And don't worry, some people might feel like, I'm not really good at studies, right? I can't study, right? That's my problem. It's just my brain. If you feel like that, don't feel down. What you have to do in this new year is you have to find different ways. Definitely every human being is born with a talent. So find a skill, go for some skill course. See what you can do. Do you want to be a beautician? Do you want to be a security officer? Do you want to be a carpenter, for instance? Anything that you like, you have to discover. As a parent, if your kid is not studying well, not doing in school, I have this typical thing, I've heard a lot, where their kids are not really doing good in their PMR or PTS or something like that, but the parents are so adamant on thinking that their kid is going to, it's for them, it's like finishing SPM is very essential, but not thinking that you're going to waste 2 years if your kid is not going to study. If studying is not what your kid wants to do, probably that's not for him, for her. You have to take them out and put for some skill training, and you have to help them improve their life for a better future. Right? So it's not about only studying. You can, as a student, as a parent, if you're not good at studies, you have to discover more ways. Be creative, innovative. Your goal is to come to the same place where to find a better future for yourself. So this is how you have to stack your resolution. Every new year, do your checklist, see how much you have accomplished, and target for the better things, right? As in Kalaram, studies is so crucial. When it comes to education, it's not only school studies. As parents, you also have to teach your kids. We have to make sure the checklist is completed with education regarding if you have a baby girl, a daughter, she needs to know how to cook. Your children needs to know how to pray. And your children need to know they have to take care of you as a parent. As your parent, they have to take care of you when you're old. All this is knowledge. Knowledge in this Kalaram is not only obtained by reading book and going to school and getting good grades. It also includes the wisdom that a person have to be complete as a human being, a perfect human being, a healthy human being, to live a better life when they reach to the next phase, which is Illaram. And then there comes the second phase where you're doing really good, or you have done your tertiary education, or you're just done studying. So what you have to do is, now you have to find a job for yourself. You have to earn enough income. It is crazy that for one to finish studies and come back home and say like, Mom, Dad, I'm done studying, now I have to get married. So how much is your saving? Talking to a lot of youths, I've been in social service for quite a long time. As my parents are also into social service, talking to people, empowering people, teenagers, youths and everything like that. I regularly see youngsters depending on their parents to get married. Their budget, most likely their budget would be like, a few weeks ago, recently, I met a girl who has a budget of 80,000 ringgits for her wedding. I will never say like this wedding is expensive or this is outrageous, you're just spoiled or anything like that. It's your wedding, it's your big day, you can decide how much money you want to spend on the few hours of rich. But what we have to think is, who is earning that money? We can't rely on our parents' EPF and pension and their lifetime saving working for 30 years to spend on us on getting married. If you are in a place where you're 23, 24, you're just out of your studies and you have not really you have a job, forget about getting married. This year 2016, in your Ponggal checklist, just say you are still not ready to get married. Because you see, if you want to do a deco, you're going to invite a deco company you're going to hire a deco company for your wedding, and it's going to cost 20,000 ringgits, where they're going to come and fix some sort of fancy decorations on the stage, and you're going to walk down an aisle with like some icebergs carved into like swans and peacock and everything like that, and you're going to walk on that aisle. It's okay to spend how many thousands you want to spend, but it's very essential for you to know how hard it is to even earn 1 ringgit. It is essential. If you have saving of 80,000 or even 2 million that you want to spend on your marriage, it's totally okay. If you spend it and you know how hard it is to earn 2 million and to spend 2 million, there is no problem with it. But as every new year comes, you have to take a checklist. You have to make your checklist. You have to check yourself whether are you prepared to be married. Because this is the bachelor phase, right? You have to look into it. And if you're a parent and you have a kid who is 25 or 21 or 23, it's very essential. If they are sleeping at home after studying and they're just still sleeping at home, they are doing some job but it's not good enough, don't feed them. I know, right? It sounds so brutal, but life is like that. I have another channel where I would love to tell you stories how I was inspired when I was traveling the world, especially India. I'll tell you how people struggle to make their life for the better. And if doing resolution have to be based on reality. It's not something fantasy, People make resolution like, this year I want to have breakfast. Yeah, it's good. and so many other things, imaginary stuff. Some people, I have a friend who made resolution. He wanted to save up 30,000 ringgit in their bank account for that year when he is not even employed. Unrealistic resolutions. But how to just make resolution, right? Take a book, like, okay, let me show you my book. This is like my favorite book. Take a notebook, take a pen, and just think, meditate, and what should I make as a resolution? Google some people, and some people say like, eating breakfast is a good thing. That is a good resolution, by the way. But we just pluck it from the sky and wrote it down, and that's gonna be resolution. Yeah, it could be, but you don't have any emotional reasons behind it to fight for it. So in Kallaram, you have to make this checklist, and you have to check yourself so that the reality hits you hard. And our culture and our tradition and our scripture clearly states, as far as you are you are a kid up to a bachelor, they are giving you such a close guidelines. You're a student, how your studies should be, and if you're a bachelor, how should the income, you have to find income. It's clearly stated. Our culture did not say like, you can just live happy-go-lucky and no. It is a competitive world. Last time in ancient time, yeah, people felt like, you can just 3,000 salary and you can just survive. Come on, this is 2016. It's not gonna work like that. And if you are a bachelor, make your checklist. That's how you make your resolution. I hope that 2016 will be a great blast. I really, really hope that you make wonderful resolutions, and my best wishes from my heart to your heart, that you will accomplish each and every resolution that you make in 2016. Thanks for watching, and if you are about to get married or you already been married, so the next video is going to be yours, Yillaram. So stay tuned and watch that if you are in Yillaram phase. Thanks for watching. Main Saiva Neethi Vilanguga Ulagamellam. See you in my next video. Bye.